Hello, Trading View. Chris Moody here. So it's only been about a 4 to 5 year hiatus, but I'm excited to be back. Thanks for all the feedback that I've gotten on the indicators over the years. And I'm looking forward to go in and updating all my indicators with the feedback everyone's given me. So looking forward to it. But the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to all the incredible programmers and coders in the Pine Coders Pro Room that have helped me out coming back, getting updated on all the code and all the features that TradingView's built in. And when I released the Ultimate MACD version 1 4 or 5 years ago, it had a lot of great feedback. But one of the main features in there was the multi-time frame. And so when I was coming back, I went in and put the stock MACD indicator that TradingView had put in there. And I have to give TradingView a shout out. They've really updated their base indicators, and their existing one has a multi-time frame capability. So I did go in and add several features, several visual aspects that I liked a lot. And then one of the biggest requests that I've received is putting in full functionality for alerts on the current chart and multi-time frame. So I did that in a unique way that I'll show you towards the end of this video. So the link to the indicator, this is a video overview of the indicator. The link to the new version 2 post will be right below this video, either in the idea section, or if not, I'll put it in the first post, in the first comments down below. And please leave me any comments for any features you guys want. This is just the first version I've updated in 4 to 5 years now. So the first thing is, when you add the indicator to the chart, it's going to look just like this. And so I want to go through a few of the settings with you. So it looks very similar to TradingView's default indicator. I'm going to come back to the time frame in a second, but you can just immediately go in and very quickly change the time frame. I've got a daily chart here, so I can change that to a week. It updates the indicator to a week. We have updated where the histogram is color-coded correctly. But I'll come back to that in a second. If you want to go to the default chart time frame, you just change this to same as chart. Now, a few of the features that I put in here, up here are just your normal MACD inputs. 12, 26, and 9 is the default MACD inputs. The source, it's based on the close. You can go in here and change this, but the default is the close. I see no need to change that. And for the MACD, the default EMAs that it uses, or the default moving averages that it uses, are EMAs. So these are just set by default. So if you want to change those, you can. But in here, there's a section right below that I put in called Show Plots. And so by default, these three are checked. So let me show you what these are. If you uncheck the Show MACD lines, so you have the MACD line and the signal line right here. If you uncheck that, it just shows the histogram, and it scales the histogram to the full lower pane. So if we turn this on, we can also take off the histogram if you don't want the histogram, if you just want the signal lines, or you can leave both on. Now, by default, the only custom setting that I have turned on by default is show MACD lines with trend color. I'm very visual, so notice when the MACD line crosses above the signal line, the color changes to green right here. And when it crosses below, the color changes to red. So I'm visual. I like being able to look and take in as much information as possible just by the visual aspect of the indicators. So that's turned on by default. If you turn that off, then you have the MACD line that doesn't change colors, and this blue line is the signal line. If you go down below to the color settings, MACD line, this color, so if you just want it one color, you can change the color here very easily. And the signal line, this blue line, you can change that. Now, if you have this turned on, then it has the trend up color, which is this green color right here. So you can change that if you want your trend up color to be different. And when the MACD line crosses below the signal line, that's the trend down color right here, okay? Now, I also gave you the ability to highlight the price bars. So I just have white bars on this screen just so you can see this visual aspect, but it works on candles, it works on anything. If I click this, now every time the MACD line is below the signal line, it's going to paint the bars red on the chart, which is the same as the trend down color if you want to adjust those colors. And when the MACD crosses above the signal line, it paints the bars green, or this trend up color. So if you just want to see kind of visually how well it's working on your chart, if you're adjusting the settings, I give you that option. You can just turn it off, and however your default bars or candles are on the chart, it'll show those. It'll just overwrite the colors if you turn this on. And then I added in a feature that's turned off by default, where it puts this background highlight when you have a cross above or a cross below. And those colors are based on the trend up and trend down colors. So if you want to turn those on, you can leave those on. Then the histogram colors above grow. This is the same as the default settings that TradingView programmed it on theirs. So when the histogram's above 0 and it's growing, it's this color. When it's above 0 and falling down, it's this color. And below, when it's growing and when it's falling, etc. Okay, so if you want to adjust those, you can. Now, in the alerts pane down here, so if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I have this alerts pane. And I'm going to be doing this on all the indicators I update, and especially the multi-time frame ones, because a lot of times there's multiple different alerts you want to use. And when you go into TradingView's default alerts, there's some great things about it, but it pulls up this pane right here, Apple, etc. And under value, there's a couple ways to do alerts, and I'll show you why I'm doing mine like this, and it's going to be normalized throughout all of the codes that I use. Okay, I've tested this a lot, and I think you'll like this feature. The issue is, if depending on the indicator, whether it's crossing up, crossing down, or on the different indicators, there can be multiple different things where we can assign plot values. But the issue is to see those plot values in, like, if it's a cross up or a cross down, etc. A lot of times it cuts off the name, so it's hard to see those. So what I've done is, if you go in here and scroll down, by default, the MACD cross up, so when it crosses up, will alert. The MACD cross down, when it crosses down, will alert, just where all of these little background highlights are right here. So if you're a trader and you only go long, then you would just do the MACD cross up and you would uncheck this. And if you were just looking for short trades, you would do the MACD cross down. But if you want to have alerts when they cross up or cross down, you just leave these checked in here. Then what you do is you go to set the alert. And in here, where it has the symbol, you just check where the symbol is and you pick the indicator, the CM Ultimate MACD. And you'll notice it takes all the other options out of here because it's all programmed in the alerts. So now all you have to do, and if we can go ahead and create that indicator and continue. And by the way, the MACD is set to on bar close. So it's only going to give you an alert on the bar close. So you don't have to go in and select all those options. So now, since we have the MACD cross up and the cross down, all we had to do is go in there, hit the drop-down screen where it has the instrument, and pick the indicator. And anything that you have checked in here will automatically alert. Okay, and that's when you set up the indicator. So again, you can set up, different ones for just if you just go long or if you just go short. And again, in different indicators, there can be a lot of different options down here. So it's a very simplified way to do that and get, multiple alerts, et cetera, at the same time. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, please ask, in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer that or record a video and give that to you. Now, I set an alert for Apple daily, cross up or cross down. If we go in here and we set this to the multiple time frame to weekly, now it shows the weekly MACD down here, and I can turn on these highlights See, cross up, cross down on the weekly, even though we have a daily time frame. And since we're on weekly and we have these alerts checked, if we go in to set the alerts, I'm just going to click Apple and right here. And since I had MACD cross up and MACD cross down checked in the inputs pane, it's automatically going to set the alert for Apple when the weekly crosses up or crosses down. Okay. So just want to make sure you're aware that you can still set multi-time frame alerts, but you just have to go in to the settings on the indicator and set it to whatever time frame you want. And then the alerts will still work. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. And then, so I'm going to go back in here and change this back to same as chart. And then also in the alerts, I put in some custom features in there where if you're getting a text alert or an email alert or a pop-up on the screen, it'll show you the symbol, the time frame, the closing price when it alerts, and it'll give you the text, whether it's a MACD cross up or a MACD cross down. So I'm going to wrap this video up right now. Again, there'll be a link below this video on how to access the indicator and get that into your library. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below or leave a comment on the indicator post. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Look forward to being back. Let me know anything I can do for you guys, any of the custom indicators you're looking for. I greatly appreciate it and look forward to working with you guys soon. Bye.